to this point in the season. We hope for good news on that front. As for the Monday night game, Matthew Stafford and the Rams taking on Bijan and Atlanta. They hadn't won on this field since they knocked off Buffalo. That was all the way back in Week 6. Early on, leading 7-0. Matthew Stafford, for the 32nd time in his career, it's a pick 6, and that's Jesse Bates, who is a spectacular player.
Absolutely, and if you want to win a game as the underdog, you have to make some of these plays. It's an overthrow by Matthew Stafford, Jesse Bates, huge pick 6.
See the stat under Sean McVay, 1-30 when trailing by 14. Here, Stafford looking deep, and who's this making this pick?
That is Xavier Watts.
Where did he go to school?
Notre Dame. This is a guy did that all throughout his career in college, and we're seeing it happen here. And Bijan Robinson, you just had him on. What a great kid, but an awesome big-time player.
And you said it to me on the sideline. If you can read his name, you're not going to catch it. But he told me, man, I knew I just could not get clowned and get caught. And I asked him if he looked at the Jumbotron, because guys always do. But I forgot that's the end with all the glass up there.
Yeah.
It's like I just had to look over my shoulder. You know what? They didn't catch you. It's 21-0. But then the Rams get on the board. It's 24-10. Now this field goal, and this is a block and a pick, scoop and score, I should say, from Jared Verse.
Now this is, remember we talked about special teams, how they had lost games this year because of special teams blunders, and now Jared Verse puts his team back in the game with a blocked field goal, a scoop, and a score.
7-point game into the fourth. It's 4th and 2. They elect to pass on a field goal, and here it's who?
It's Xavier Watts again. We were laughing before the game. I told him it had been a while since I saw him with the football in his hands, and he said, now you turned me up. He got 2 tonight.
It's like Michael Jordan looking at the iPad. I took that personal. And he steps out of bounds, and there's all sorts of nonsense on the sidelines. The penalty on that one. But then the Rams get the football back. Puka Nacua made an insane catch that was waved off by a flag, but then he catches another one. No Devontae Adams tonight. 24 all, but then who else? 3rd and 1. Toss it to Bijan. Let him get the first down. They do. A little conservative from there, but as I said on the highlight earlier,
the 3 runs in a row to Algier, I thought they'd try something different.
Well, 51 indoors, they trust Zane, and the clean operation means Arthur Blank can celebrate the lead. They're able to avoid what would have been one of the catches of the year.
This is a great play by AJ as well, to be able to pull Puka's arm away from this football. Scott, he had this ball. He had both feet down as well. It's that play right there by AJ Terrell that gets the ball out.
And also a great job to avoid PI, because that could have been called. And now with 5 seconds left, you need something bordering on miraculous, and there was nothing of that sort available as Stafford looks for Nacua. That's no bid. And afterwards, Matthew Stafford on the loss tonight in Atlanta.
Poorly. I obviously didn't play well enough. Nothing they did, to be honest with you. Same kind of stuff that they've been doing all year. Just we didn't execute well enough. I obviously didn't play well enough, and that's what it is.
We make no excuses, but we weren't good enough. I do like the fight of this group, the way that we handled ourselves in the second half, and we had our chances to be able to close that game out. And here we are again in a disappointing situation, but this is a humbling league, and we got humbled tonight. Ultimately, it's my responsibility to have us ready to go, and we weren't ready to go from the jump, and that I did think our special teams was a major step in the right direction. That was a positive. I thought the blocked kick with the touchdown, those are the types of plays you have to make to get yourself back in the game. We did that. We were able to get back and tie it, and then we got to get a stop, and then we got to be able to make the plays that we're capable of making when we do get the ball back, to even give ourselves a chance to be able to tie it up, because there were some opportunities to do that. But it was too many things to overcome. We put ourselves behind the 8 ball, and that's why we're sitting here with the L.
Nothing you can do but eat it, right? You're down 21, come all the way back to tied at 24, and ultimately fall short by 3. Ryan Clark is alongside, and it's Bijan Robinson. And what was cool was seeing that young man light up when I told him he was on a list with Jerry Rice. Those are the only 2 guys ever to have 200-plus scrimmage yards back-to-back Monday night games. He's an astounding talent. What do you want to highlight?
You know what's funny about that is Bijan's 24, 25 years old.
Never saw him.
He never saw it in person.
Nope.
He never actually got to see Jerry Rice to know truly how large of an accomplishment that really is, to be on any list with one of the legends of this game. We were on the sideline when Bijan Robinson scored this 93-yard touchdown, and it's really going to be about 4 people. You're going to highlight Kitchens on defense and McCullough on defense. McCullough's going to miss a tackle early, and Kitchens is the guy that's going to get blocked by Drake London, who's the receiver here. And what we're going to get is Bijan Robinson flowing here, and McCullough's going to make the right decision and try to force him back inside or make the tackle. Here, when you watch it play, it's such a great fit by McCullough right as he slides in. But if you pause it right here, it's the vision of Bijan Robinson. He's going to cut here, which makes McCullough miss the tackle, and then he's going to get upfield and out to the sideline. The huge play is going to be made by Drake London, who's going to go from blocking the corner and then move upfield to get Kitchens here, which is what's going to spring Bijan Robinson to get down the sideline. As you let it play, this is how big plays are made. They're not made by themselves or by one player. It's the reason Bijan Robinson was sitting here with 2 other Atlanta Falcons offensive players who were linemen who sprung him the entire day. It's those kind of plays, in my opinion, though, Scott, that put him in a league of his own. We were having a conversation of the McCaffreys and the Gibbs and the Saquon Barkleys. Right now, there's no one doing it at a higher level than Bijan Robinson.
We agree, and I think we agree as it relates to this LA Ram team. And asking Joe and Troy what kind of trajectory they feel like they're on, they were quick to point out the O-linemen they were without tonight and some significant pieces, Devontae Adams, some secondary players that they'll be getting back that are difference makers. You told me last week you trusted the Rams in this open season, this wide open season in the NFL. You still you trusted them as much as anyone. Have these last 2 weeks at all impacted that?
I still trust them. I feel like the gap between the Los Angeles Rams and the rest of the pack has closed. I feel like the Seattle Seahawks have closed ground. The San Francisco 49ers have closed ground. You know you're going to play a Philadelphia team. Even with the inconsistencies offensively, they'll have a football team that can get stops and that have played well against the Rams in the last 2 years. And so what felt like a no-brainer, this is not only the best football team in the NFC, but Los Angeles is the best team in the entire NFL, seems like a much more open race than it did 3 weeks ago.
Isn't this an odd season?
Yes, it's
every time I feel like I got to read on somebody, they lose a game.
You know what happens, and you can tell me if I'm misreading this. We always talk about the imperfection and parity of the league, right?
Yeah.
But then there's always the team that is less imperfect than everyone else. Whether it's the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles, it's like, yeah, they aren't perfect, but they're much closer to it than anybody else in this league. I don't feel like we have that one team. If the Houston Texans make a run, you won't be surprised. The Patriots make a run. I think there's so many teams right now that if they get hot and stay healthy, have a chance to get to Santa Clara.
I agree. I think you want one thing you feel like you know for sure is going to show up. Maybe it's the Texans defense. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's hiding in plain sight. Maybe it's the San Francisco team.
My question to you would be, in a week where Drake May throws 5 touchdowns, has he secured the MVP after Matthew Stafford's performance?
Well, I mean, that pendulum swings wildly back and forth. I mean, the Jets didn't put back a ton of opposition, but, I mean, Matthew Stafford, he said it was on him tonight. Maybe. If it does, he's played phenomenal all year. But you got to look at who he played against, which wasn't a great schedule. There is this bizarre scenario, which only gets more bizarre with this. Because Atlanta won, the NFC South gets as weird as it could possibly be because the Carolina Panthers clinched the division with a win over Tampa Bay or an Atlanta win, which means Carolina could go to Tampa and lose and still get into the playoffs if the Falcons beat the Saints, which maybe is the correct way for the NFC South to play out.
Right now, our friend Gordo wants the College Football Playoff Committee to step in and pick the NFC South team or give them a tribute like on the Hunger Games so someone else can go.
Atlanta and New Orleans are both playing a whole lot better than either of the two teams that are going head-to-head that